Summary of the novel, The Knights of the Cross. Author, Henryk Sienkiewicz. Chapter 1, Introduction to the setting and main characters. The novel The Knights of the Cross begins in the late 14th century, as Poland and Lithuania face threats from the Teutonic Order. This Christian military order, once protectors of pilgrimages, has now degenerated into a brutal invading force, craving land and power. The medieval setting comes alive like a vivid painting, bustling village markets, vibrant nightly tournaments, and majestic castles along rivers. Society is depicted with clear stratification, from kings, nobles, and knights to impoverished peasants. The era's atmosphere blends superstition with vibrant vitality. Folk beliefs intertwine with Christianity. People leave food out at night to appease vampires, while praying before saintly statues under flickering candlelight. This interplay highlights the unique cultural identity of Poland at the time. The protagonist, Zbyszko of Bogdaniec, is a young, courageous, but impulsive knight. Within him burns a fierce desire for glory and honor. He returns from the war in Lithuania with his uncle, Mako of Bogdaniec, a seasoned, pragmatic knight. At an inn in Tyniec, they meet Princess Anna Danuta and her entourage. Among them stands out Danusia, a beautiful, gentle, fragile young maiden, delicate as morning mist, with a voice as sweet as an angel's. Zbyszko is captivated at first sight. In a moment of infatuation, he kneels before Danusia, his eyes blazing, and vows to bring her 3 plumes, feathers from the helmets of Teutonic knights, to prove his love and honor. This vow is both romantic and a manifestation of youthful ambition. Additionally, this chapter introduces Yagienka, a noblewoman living near Bogdaniec, strong, independent, and practical. Though only briefly appearing, Yagienka already shows interest in Zbyszko, creating a stark contrast with Danusia's fragile image. Sienkiewicz skillfully places the characters within the historical current, emphasizing central themes: the battle between good and evil, the maturation of a young knight, and the unity of the Polish nation against foreign threats. Chapter 2, Impulsive Action and Consequences. On the road to Krakow, Zbyszko commits a gravely impulsive act. He attacks Kuno von Liechtenstein, a high-ranking diplomatic envoy of the Teutonic Order. Kuno, arrogant in his splendid cloak, represents Teutonic power and is protected by the sacred medieval law of diplomatic immunity. The attack causes a shock, with the crowd whispering in astonishment, fearing the consequences to come. Zbyszko's reckless act violates knightly laws, severely threatening the fragile peace between Poland and the Teutonic Order. It ignites long-simmering tensions fueled by the Order's ambitions for domination. Zbyszko is arrested, his wrists bound, the cold chains biting into his skin, a young knight now facing execution for honor. At the public trial, as the executioner's axe gleams in the sunlight, Zbyszko prepares to meet his death. In that moment of life and death, Danusia appears, her white dress fluttering like an angel's. She suddenly leaps onto the execution platform, covering Zbyszko's head with an embroidered handkerchief. This is an ancient Polish custom called the veil of mercy. If an unmarried maiden declares her intent to marry the condemned and covers his head with her handkerchief, the sentence is revoked. Danusia's act, full of courage and love, saves Zbyszko from the executioner's blade. It is not only proof of their idealized love but also a testament to the power of compassion, tradition, and women's roles in a harsh society. However, Zbyszko's reckless act leaves lasting consequences, diplomatic tensions escalate, and a cycle of vengeance begins. Chapter 3, Zbyszko's Maturation. After escaping death thanks to Danusia, Zbyszko embarks on a journey of redemption and growth. He leaves Krakow with a heart heavy with remorse, determined to prove that honor comes not only from the sword but also from loyalty and responsibility. He undertakes missions patrolling the borders, traversing dense, icy forests and hostile lands. In one ambush, Zbyszko bravely confronts a band of Teutonic soldiers, rescuing several Lithuanian villagers, an act that gradually restores his reputation. Under the guidance of Mako, his devoted, experienced uncle, he learns to temper his impulsiveness, understanding that courage must be paired with wisdom. His heart grows steadier, no longer solely dreaming of personal glory. His love for Danusia deepens, but it is tested by distance, dangers, and the Teutonic Order's dark schemes. Meanwhile, Yagienka takes on a more prominent role. She not only assists Mako in managing the Bogdaniec estate but also follows Zbyszko's every step with silent, patient eyes. Yagienka's independent, practical, and resilient nature makes her a symbol of enduring love, in stark contrast to Danusia's fragile, idealized image. The historical context expands in this chapter. The Polish-Lithuanian alliance, led by King Władysław II Jagiello, originally named Jogaila, begins preparing for a great war. This king, after converting to Christianity and marrying Queen Jadwiga, unified the two kingdoms and gradually asserted their position in Central Europe. Sienkiewicz masterfully blends historical and fictional characters, intertwining personal fates with the destiny of the nation, creating an epic atmosphere rich with Polish identity. Chapter 4, Schemes and Vengeance. Tensions between Poland and the Teutonic Order escalate as the Teutonic Knights undertake a bold act, kidnapping Danusia to retaliate against Zbyszko. This is not merely personal vengeance but part of a strategy to undermine the Polish nation's spirit, sowing fear and division. Danusia is imprisoned in a secret fortress, where she endures isolation, panic, and relentless nightmares. Her father, Jurand of Spychow, a knight renowned for his courage and deep hatred of the order, is lured into a trap. He is brutally tortured, his tongue is cut out, his eyes blinded, and he is confined in a cold, dark dungeon, his body bloodied but his spirit unbroken. This savage act exposes the order's true nature, cloaked in the cross but acting with the cruelty of wartime tyrants. The Teutonic Knights receive tacit support from the Pope and the Holy Roman Empire, under the guise of a crusade against heretics. In this scenario, Poland-Lithuania stands nearly alone. Zbyszko, upon learning the news, is driven to near madness. He embarks on a perilous mission to rescue Danusia, a grueling journey through hostile lands, swamps, forests, and enemy outposts. He clashes with Teutonic soldiers, is pursued, and narrowly escapes death multiple times. Mako remains by his nephew's side, using his wisdom and experience to protect and guide. Simultaneously, he continues rebuilding the Bogdaniec estate, a symbol of hope and resilience amid the flames of war. This chapter also introduces Ulrich von Jungingen, the powerful Grand Master of the Teutonic Order, embodying arrogance, cruelty, and hegemonic ambition. His presence marks a climactic moment, as personal vendettas merge with national conflicts, setting the stage for the historic battle to come. Chapter 5, The Battle of Grunwald. The novel's climax is the Battle of Grunwald in 1410, one of the bloodiest and most magnificent confrontations in medieval European history. On the vast Grunwald plain, the Polish-Lithuanian allied forces, commanded by King Jagiello, faced the formidable army of the Teutonic Knights led by Ulrich von Jungingen. Before the battle, Jagiello organizes preparations, from hunting expeditions to supply the army with provisions to rallying Baltic tribes and resistance fighters from Mazovia. Oppressed peasants rise up, fueling the nation's righteous anger. The battle unfolds under a gray sky, with the clash of steel ringing out, warhorses neighing, and banners fluttering across the field. Zbyszko and Mako charge into the fray, their swords swinging amidst a storm of blades, their armor stained with blood and mud. Every moment is a matter of life and death, every step forward a choice between sacrifice and glory. In that historic moment, Ulrich von Jungingen is struck down, his death marking the Teutonic Order's complete defeat. The Grunwald victory is not only a military triumph but also a symbol of Slavic unity against foreign oppression. It profoundly weakens the Teutonic Order's military, economic, and political standing. The balance of power in Central Europe begins to tilt toward Poland-Lithuania. Sienkiewicz portrays the battle as a symphony of patriotism, indomitable spirit, and the awakening of a nation once pushed into isolation and obscurity. Chapter 6, Tragedy and Conclusion. After the Grunwald victory, Zbyszko does not rest. He continues his personal quest, rescuing Danusia. After countless dangers, he finds her, but Danusia is no longer herself. The months of captivity have shattered her fragile soul. She has gone mad, her eyes clouded, her words incoherent, her mind lost in darkness. In Zbyszko's arms, she fades like a flower swept away by the wind, her life slipping away in boundless sorrow. Danusia's death is a tragedy steeped in the haunting toll of war, not only swords and bloodshed but also the silent destruction of innocent lives. Zbyszko is devastated but does not surrender. He recognizes a greater ideal beyond personal love, fighting for his country and those still alive. Returning to Bogdaniec, he gradually opens his heart to Yagienka, who has always stood by him, steadfast like the earth itself. Ultimately, Zbyszko marries Yagienka, not a conclusion for his first love, but for emotional maturity and a rational choice. Their love symbolizes rebirth, a practical love tied to hope and reconstruction after war. Mako and Zbyszko together rebuild the estate, sowing seeds for a new future. Verdant fields and the laughter of children resound, Bogdaniec is restored as if never ravaged. This image symbolizes the rebirth of an entire nation. The novel concludes on a subdued yet hopeful note: peace is sacred, attainable only when humanity learns to sacrifice, forgive, and unite.